Today we'll be looking at controlling the Strymon pedals. I've got the timeline set up here and controlling that with the MIDI from G2. The MIDI on G2 comes from the factory set up outputting on MIDI channel 1, and the timeline is set up receiving on MIDI channel 1. You can change those obviously, but by simply connecting a MIDI cable from the output of G2 to the input of the timeline, every time I press a preset on G2, you will see the presets on the timeline change. Okay, so the easiest way to set up your presets on the timeline is simply go to the preset that you want to add a delay on. At the moment, I've got the D&M drive going into a Hampstead on preset 2. It sounds like this. Now I want to add a slapback delay on that. So if I turn on loop 9, which is the loop the timeline's in, so I want to shorten that delay time. Okay, perfect. I've programmed that sound up. Now all I do is I save that sound in the timeline, and that is now saved to that location, to that memory location. So now when I hit, if I go back to a different preset, go back to that same preset, so by simply going to the preset that you want to enter on G2 and then programming the sound that you want to recall on timeline and then saving it in that location, that's a really easy way to do it. But let's say there's a sound already in the timeline and I want to recall that sound on a certain foot switch on G2. There's no MIDI mapping in the timeline, but there is a copy and paste function. Okay, so all I would say with the copy and paste function is you need to make sure that where you're copying and pasting to, it's going to overwrite that preset on the timeline. So make sure that's not a preset that you want to save. If it is, save that preset to a different location in the timeline. Somewhere that bank 99 or something. Somewhere you might not use. But let's show you how that's done. So let's say I want to go to preset 3 now on G2, and that brings up this lo-fi delay sound here. Okay, but that's not the sound I want. The sound I want to put in that location is actually, let's say, bank 8 preset B, and it's this. Okay, that's the sound I want, and I want to recall that sound whenever I go to preset 3 on G2. So how do I do it? It's really easy. The only thing you need to remember is that if you want to copy and paste that sound to foot switch 3 on G2, start on any other foot switch except foot switch 3. The reason being is that when I'm saving that preset, I need to send it the MIDI program patch change message from G2. And if I do that, then it will save that sound to that location in the timeline. But in order to do that, I need to be on a different foot switch so that when I go to the foot switch I want, it sends that program patch change message. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So I want to save that sound of the timeline to foot switch 3 on G2. So let's go to foot switch 4. Now I'm going to go to bank 8, preset B on the timeline. I'm going to press and hold, and now it says save. All I need to do now is press foot switch 3, and if you watch the save button, it'll say M done. And that's it. We're done. So now if I go to preset 2, I've got that slapback sound. Go to foot switch 3, I've got the mirror sound. And that's how you copy and paste the sounds from your timeline or from any of your Strymon pedals to the foot switches in G2.